Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Aaron Wilson for Inside the 49. Just want to jump back on, talk to you guys a little bit about film review from the Lions 49ers game. We want to talk specifically about the offensive alignment for the Lions and how they added an extra offensive lineman and how Wilks adjusted his defense and how I feel like it was incorrect adjustment and needs to be reevaluated for this week against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So let's get into it. All right. So, first off, I want to just take a minute to talk a little bit about offensive alignment, offensive personnel, and how that changes the defensive personnel. So, in this situation, you'll see on the screen that the 49ers are currently in their base 4-3 defense. So, if you look up on the top, you will see Burks right here, Warner, and Greenlaw. So, they have three linebackers on the field. You also see that Lenore is here on the bottom, one corner, two corners, and three linebackers. So you'll see if you watch the game from in person that it's either Ambry Thomas or Orrin Burks who's standing directly next to the defensive coordinator in terms of when he's going to go in for the play. And that just depends on the offensive personnel. So in this specific situation, the Lions have two tight ends, one, two, and two wide receivers, one, two, and one running back. Okay, so they're in this personnel, they call 12 personnel. They're going to be the 49ers are primarily going to be in their 4-3 look with two cornerbacks like you see here. So if you look over to the other side, I want to show you from the other standpoint what we're looking at in terms of alignment from the defensive ends and defensive tackles. So tight end moves over. All right. So their normal setup for the 49ers when they're in 4-3 is going to be 3 tech right here to the strong side. And then you're going to have a 7 or a 9 tech on the outside. On the inside, you're going to have a 2 tech or sometimes a 2 inside. You might be inside shade. And then you have another 9 tech on this side. Sometimes it's a 7 on either sides. Right. So we consider this left side to be the strong side. So you have a 3 tech and a 9 tech on the strong side. So that's their normal setup when they're in base 4-3 defense. So one of the things that I saw from this is the fact that they changed when the Lions put a different personnel on there. They kept with the same kind of 4-3 defense. They changed the alignment a little bit. But they didn't really compensate for the extra offensive alignment. So if we look farther on in the video, we will see them with additional linemen. So here's the first. I think it's better from the other view. So if you look here, you'll see what's called kind of an overload. So in this situation, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 offensive linemen, right? Which is normal when there's normally 5. So as soon as this happens, the defense needs to adjust. Sometimes defenses adjust with personnel, sometimes they adjust with alignment, and sometimes they do both. So in this situation for the 49ers, they decided to stay in their base 4-3 defense, as you see Burks here on the top with Warner and Greenlaw, but they decided to change their alignment. So you'll see here as they move over, they're going strong side on this side. So this right side is now considered the strong side. And in this specific situation, all they did was they moved their nose tackle, which I believe in this situation is I can't tell his number. All right, and they just moved him a little bit more inside. So you'll see he's a little bit more inside, and they moved him even more inside. I consider this to be like a 1 or a 2 shade, meaning 2 inside. But they moved him just a little bit inside, and then they didn't really move Armstead on the other side. Now later on, they do a little bit more movement out of them. But what happens is the 49ers get gashed, and they got gashed over and over on this drive because, in my opinion, there's too many offensive linemen for the amount of defensive linemen and the linebackers that you have. You need to add in an additional defensive lineman. So let's run it. This was probably their smallest run of the day when they were in this personnel. But you'll see a bunch of other situations where they are just pounding it and pounding and pounding it, and it's because they are manned. The 49ers are outmanned. If that's the case, there's going to be too many offensive linemen. They're going to be able to just pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball over and over and over again. And for some reason, the Lions decided after they got down the field to about the 20 or the 30 that they weren't going to run this formation anymore. And they went kind of back to their base personnel. But it happened over and over. Again, it doesn't seem like much. It's 5 yards here, 5 yards here, but that's exactly what they're looking for. Again, same personnel. We're going to see it. We'll actually get a chance to see. So right now they're moving out Sewell, who's their best offensive lineman, to the opposite side, and we'll see from the other side what the confusion is on the 49er side and how they're really trying to move people in the right spots. But again, you got too many offensive linemen on that side for the amount of defensive linemen and linebackers that you have. So here's a good situation, right? So right now, what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to Warner and watch Warner. So Warner is in charge of the defense, right? Pay attention to him and what he does and how he's moving guys around depending on the movement, right? So first, you see the arrow over, right? He's telling him move over. He's telling the nose tackle, no, you shouldn't be in that normal two tech. You need to be over closer to splitting the difference between the guard and the center. And now you get movement up front from Sewell going from the right side to the left side. And as soon as he moves, you see Warner again here, right? He's telling the guys, hey, we need to move inside. We need to move over so we can go and have our alignment better with the offensive line. So he moves them over. All right. So now this is a good situation. So we're seeing a little bit more movement over from the defensive tackle. So now instead of being the 3 tech that we're looking at before, which is 3 tech is going to be outside, which would be in this spot. Right now, he's more of a 4 tech or 4 inside here. So they decided to kind of move him over to this side to create a little bit better gap scheme for the defensive line. And you'll see the nose tackle is also moving over to kind of split the difference because of the extra lineman. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got 6 offensive linemen. You need to do something different in this situation because they were just pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding and then kept on going down the field. Right? This is the blocks are too easy. Right? You got another 6 or 7 yards gain, right? And that's going to happen over and over and over again because there's not enough people in the box. Okay. Looking at it from this side, it's all about numbers in the run game, right? So defensively in the box, the Niners has 7 guys, right? All right, my ugly box, right? So they have 7 guys in the box. Okay. So 7 guys in the box against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys plus the running back. So if all these guys are one-on-one, right, it's going to give the ability for the running back to be by himself and to get yards and yards and yards and yards. All right, nice double team block up front. He gets through. Nobody's there to fill the hole. All right, we'll see it again from the other side. All right, it's too light of a box here. I really believe that Wilks, if the Kansas City ends up doing this in the Super Bowl, which they were smart, they would, and Andy Reid is a smart offensive coach. Wilks needs to switch it up, and he needs to put another defensive lineman in there. They do have a defensive line set that they've used in the past this year because it's just too easy and too many holes to try to get up the field. All right, you got a nice double team block here. He moves up to the second level. All right, they get through, bam, and the safety needs to make the tackle. I mean, it's one of the reasons why Jair Brown was, I think, 10 or 11 tackles in that game. And again, this is play after play after play after play. They do end up trying to throw the ball a couple of times out of this formation to kind of switch it up, but I would have just kept on going because it was working. And I heard the nice plays by Chase Young on the backside. But the reason this happens is because of the pressure we're getting on this right side from, I think Gibson comes up and gives some pressure. So he's almost an extra guy in the box. There we go. Okay. So here's a good situation. Good numbers. They're also stacked here at the line of scrimmage with their wide receivers, which gives the Niners the ability to have more guys inside. So now you're talking about that box. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the corner in there. 6, 7, 8. Now we're in a better spot, right? We're in a better spot defensively to go against this extra lineman. All right, let's run it. Boom, and we're already in there, right? And Chase Young is able to come out and make a nice tackle. But this really happened. If we run it back, this has really happened because you have both Gibson and Lenore already knowing it's a run play, and they're committing to the run way, 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 way early, right? They're getting in the box and they're creating. St. Brown's coming up and he's having to go against 2 guys, right? So I like this move of moving Gibson in the box because it helps with that additional run support. But I still don't think that's enough. I still think there needs to be another offensive line or defensive line, excuse me, that's in there. All right, here's another play. We got a couple more for you guys to see. All right, and they got a fullback in here as well, so that gives them an extra blocker. Here's where they end up passing, and Bosa gets them down for a sack, which is great. But again, it's a situation where they are changing their personnel, and the Niners are expecting to play with them on a level playing field with one extra big man. And it's just not going to work, and it's not going to be effective. They're going to continue to run the ball effectively over the Niners over and over and over again until they realize that. This is later on in the game. But again, you'll see again, not only are they heavy on the lineman side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they also have 2 tight ends or tight end and fullback, right? So in this situation, if you're Wilks and you don't think, okay, I think I can take my 7 against their 6 offensive linemen, okay, I disagree, but okay, do that. But as soon as they bring in another tight end, you got to get heavier with the defensive package, or it's not going to work, and they're going to go right down the field. All right, so that's all I have for today. I just want to give you guys a little bit of insight, a little bit of information about my thoughts on how the Niners attacked the Lions offense when they went with that 6 offensive linemen. And I feel like it is definitely something that did not work and needs to be fixed as we come down to the Super Bowl. So hope you liked the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts on what you would do differently with the defensive personnel in this situation. And I'll see you on the next video. See you.